Before we start today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to Buzz TV. Man, Buzz TV has some really good devices, man. Like this last year, they've come up with some good stuff, and this new year, I'm excited to see what they got.
Yo, it's going to be straight fire. Some devices and features, because I don't want to say one or the other. With Buzz TV, it's hand in hand. They've dropped some fire devices and some amazing features that are always taking things to the next level.
So don't forget to check out the description below.
You know, no matter where you guys are listening, watching, whatever from, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, that like, drop us a comment, and the reviews actually help us a great deal. If you're looking to do anything for us in this year coming and beyond, the reviews help other viewers like yourself find this podcast and enjoy it as well. So thank you guys. And with all that being said, let's start the show.
And welcome back to another Beyond the Streams episode. Today, we got some interesting stuff, a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of crap that's been going on, and hopefully we could help you guys out with some stuff here. So we got stuff as far as cyber attacks, we got freaking lawsuits, we got Nintendo Switches, we got freaking Bitcoin going crazy. We got all kinds of crap, man. All kinds of crap. So next up one night earlier, we always have like a small little ketchup, not ketchup, mustard. And mustard. I know. And you mentioned. So I said, "Hey, some interesting news about why Ethereum Classic was going up."
Yeah,
and you said, "Well, what did you say?"
So a lot of miners that have older graphics cards, because as it stays right now with regular Ethereum, if you got like a 4 gig card or lower, you can't really mine regular Ethereum on it. And Ethereum is the most profitable paying cryptocurrency when it comes to mining. However, with Ethereum Classic, there was a change recently which allowed you to use older cards. So there was a lot more people jumping back on that network and mining. Now, that was the last thing that I heard when it started to do that funky jump when the last Dogecoin run was happening.
Yeah. So this is what I've read on several articles, which is very interesting. So Dogecoin had a crazy run. It was going up to 70 cents. Ethereum Classic was edging 4,000. I think it was like 3,700 when this thing was happening. Ethereum Classic was almost at $200, where it was not even within a week. It was at $30. Mm-hmm. Every single cryptocurrency, the big ones out there, were on this launch up to the moon.
To the moon.
Yeah. But you're actually going to crack up on why Ethereum all of a sudden, Ethereum Classic, why all of a sudden it jumped from $30 to almost $200. You ready for this?
Yeah. What was it?
People were having
Don't think they were buying the wrong coin.
And they were buying the wrong coin. They were buying the wrong coin. They thought it was Ethereum. They legit thought it was Ethereum because a lot of people were talking about how Ethereum was going up, and they saw the price on Ethereum Classic like, ooh, $30, $40, $50, $60, $70, $80. This ain't too bad. $90, 100, 110, 120.
There's a lot of new people that are getting into cryptocurrency right now. And there's two things that people need to understand. First, if you are new to cryptocurrency, new to stocks, new to investing, I want you to go research this word, FOMO. right? The word is FOMO, FOMO, because a lot of you guys are going to trip up because of the fear of missing out. And because of that, you're going to make stupid mistakes like buying the wrong crypto coin.
Well, this wasn't just a few people.
Well, yeah.
It was a shit ton of people.
Right.
And what was interesting was Ethereum didn't really go up that much.
No, there was actually a short period of time where it took like a 1% dip.
Yeah.
And then it went nuts.
And what was crazy, because I was watching, I'm just like, is this going to hit 4,000? Because it was like, it's slowly going like just little by little inching up there. And I'm just like, is it going to get up there? And I think I saw it peak at 3,800. It was getting close to 3,900, but it didn't hit it. Ethereum Classic almost hits $200. And I'm like, why is this thing going to $200? And then I see an article saying people are buying the wrong Ethereum. And I'm just like, that's interesting, because I threw in like, I think I threw in like $40 or $50. And now I have like $900 off of that jump because of people's stupidity. So what I did was I did the obvious. I pulled it out, compounded it. As soon as I'm like, because you know me, I'm just like, okay, as soon as it hits a certain number, I'm going to pull out.
Right.
I'm like, as soon as it hits 1,000, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't think this is going to hit 1,000. I was like, you know what? If Ethereum Classic hits $200, I'll pull it out. So
strong.
I was looking at it. I'm just like, come on, $200, and it was just kind of like barely inching there, and then it started to move down a little bit, and I'm just like, you know what? I have $900 right now. Screw it. I pulled it out, and then the thing started to free fall, and then I compounded it, and then I bought it I think I bought it when it dipped down to like $80, I think it was. So I have like a grip ton more Ethereum Classic than what I originally bought it for. So when that happened, that's when Ethereum took off and passed 4,000. Because I think what happened was people were just like, wait a minute, we're buying the wrong one. So they sold it all and then moved over to Ethereum Classic, which did give it a boost. it went up. But here's the thing. When people were buying in at that price, it's already, it only went up like what, $2,000-$3,000. So it probably went up like a couple percent. It wasn't a big jump for me because I originally bought it at $900 and I have 4 coins. I'm loving this. I'm like, hell yeah, keep it going. I don't think Ethereum is gonna dip. I honestly don't think it's gonna go anywhere below 3,000 ever again. I think it's gonna if it dips down that low, it will be like 2,999. And I don't think it's gonna go any lower than that.
Here's an interesting fact about Ethereum. Ethereum is the world's second most valuable digital currency, and it spiked about 10% in the last 24 hours and reached an all-time high of approximately $4,350, which is probably going over that very soon. According to the latest data published by CoinMarketCap, Ethereum now has the market cap of more than 500 billion. Ethereum has become the second cryptocurrency in the world to reach the market cap of 500 billion. I think it's also bigger than JP Morgan with that market cap now.
Mm-hmm.
So is Ethereum going somewhere? I mean, it's possible. It's not going to happen anytime soon if it does.
No. I will tell people if it does go over 4,000, it's funny because we always get people recommending recommendations. Hey, what do you think? Should I buy in? I've asked you and like, hey, what do you think about this? And I would say if Ethereum goes under 4K, buy as much as you can. If you have it, but remember, like it's money that you got to kiss goodbye. And if it grows, amazing. And if it doesn't, you shouldn't be missing it. But if it does go under 4K, buy. Because that thing is, I predict, I've been standing strong on this. Before the summer's over, Ethereum will be at 10K. Mark my words.
Huh. Again, we are not financial advisors. We are just random people on the internet. But speaking about random people on the internet who talks about finances and crypto, who probably has a little bit more weight than we do, Elon Musk was recently on Saturday Night Live. Now, I have to ask you, did you get a chance to watch it? Because I've actually watched.
I was camping.
It was good. It was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it was good. So there was a couple skits. One of the skits I watched, there was a part where this guy just kept asking him over and over again. He's like, "What is Dogecoin? What is Dogecoin?" And like he kept trying to explain it in different ways, and the people just didn't understand. So the guy pulls out $1 from his pocket. He's like, "This is $1. What is Dogecoin?" So eventually they end it by saying it's a hustle. And he's like, "Why didn't you say it was a hustle? It's a hustle." So it's just some really interesting things happened. There was a big run up in regards to Dogecoin leading up to the Saturday Night Live show. And then when he went up on Saturday Night Live, Dogecoin receded back to about high 40s, low 50s. Prior to that, it was getting close to 72, 73 cents, which is a huge run up from being 3-4 pennies in January. Crazy. I follow a guy named Proto the Doge, who is the Dogecoin millionaire. He took $180,000 in Doge and now has $2 million in Doge. That's some crazy stuff. Anyways, so after appearing on Saturday Night Live, Elon Musk announced on Twitter, because he is a Twitter Dogecoin spokesperson apparently, but he made a tweet on May 9th that says SpaceX is launching satellite Doge 1 to the moon next year. The mission is going to be paid for in Doge. It's going to be the first crypto in space and the first meme in space. And then he says, "to the moon" in his tweet.
This is nuts.
Can you actually believe this is going to happen? Like Dogecoin is literally going to the moon? Even if it financially doesn't go to the moon, it is it's a cryptocurrency, but physically they're taking a Dogecoin mission to the moon. Maybe even going to plant a meme flag. Who knows?
Well, if he's going to use Dogecoin, that means he has to have money invested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And which when I see stuff like this, where things are just getting backed up more and more and more, like more companies are now going to be using, because we knew he invested a grip ton of money in Bitcoin, but he never made an announcement on how much he's invested for Doge. But if he's going to be putting money in there and going to be using all that money from Doge that he's getting,
right,
he's got to be one of the big whales in there. He has to be.
I thought Kyle is the biggest whale. Is that how you say his son's name? I have no idea. He spells it.
Oh, that's right. That's right. He bought Dogecoin for his son.
So technically he is a whale, but the baby is the whale.
That's crazy. First crypto in space, first meme mission paid in Doge. I'm just really curious to see how he's going to do it. Well, with all that being said, with the Doge, I like to call it Dogie. Whatever. Tesla is now announcing that they're going to be using, I think it's to purchase a Tesla Y, I think it was, that they're going to be accepting, or I think they said, should we be accepting Dogecoin for purchasing of the Tesla Y? I think it was only one of their vehicles. I thought that was very interesting to think of them looking at that, because that's, again, if Tesla's like, okay, we'll accept payments in Doge, and Doge continues to move up, he could just move that money into SpaceX.
Well, the SpaceX is actually, what was it? It was a company called Geometric Energy Corporation. They're the ones that are actually going to be dealing with the Dogecoin and funding the mission. So it's going to be interesting to see, because it's not just SpaceX or Tesla. This move with the whole Tesla, the cars, and the spaceship is going to create more transactions through other companies just because this is happening. And I think that it's really interesting that they put this out in regards to the Tesla. Was it the Y you were saying?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they put this out in regards to a question to the people, because I believe, or I think at least, if they just went ahead and they did it, their investors would have felt a certain way. So at least they can get a feel of the market and not just jump on and scare their investors away. The stock market's been really interesting. It looks like they've dropped, I don't know, something like around $200 in the past couple weeks. So yeah, I much rather see them do it this way. When they originally purchased into Bitcoin, I didn't think that they were going to go into Doge. I really didn't think so. But then again, Dogecoin wasn't worth 50 cents back then.
No, it was, dude, in the very, like, I was just looking at this thing right now, the very beginning of January, it was worth 0.005. That's half the worth of a penny. Half. Now just think about it. It went from that with like, dude, to 70 cents at the high. That's 26,000%. If you put $1 in back then, that's $26,000 that you have now.
But okay. The
right?
problem with seeing these crazy percentages, and a lot of people that are inexperienced, is that they think that there's going to be another Dogecoin that does that.
Dude, yeah. Safe Moon or Moon Safe or Sailor Moon, whatever it's called. Dude, it's but that one has seen some increases.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at it and I'm just like, oh, if I put $1,000 right now, while it's worth 0.0009, dude, you know how many zeros that is? I'm like, wait a minute. If this thing goes into a penny, my $1,000 can now be worth 2-point-some million dollars. I'm tempted. I'm really tempted of just saying, you know what? Let me just throw it in there and close my eyes.
I don't know when Safe Moon came out. Do you know how old Safe Moon is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I don't know how old Safe Moon is, but I'm just saying that Dogecoin isn't a new phenomenon. Dogecoin's been around since 2016. It's had a following for a very long time. And what happened with Dogecoin is a mixture of a lot of interesting things, from, the power of social media, the power of memes, the power of billionaires, and all of that combined, it created Captain Planet. And we're taking this to the moon.
Captain Planet, he's my hero. We're gonna beat you, so you're down to 0. Don't ask me how I know the words of that song. But Safe Moon Protocol is a community-driven fair launched by DeFi.
Yeah,
am I saying that right? DeFi token. 3 simple functions occur during each trade: reflection, LP acquisition, and burn. Right now, there is 1.2 million holders of that coin already. The supply, holy crap. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's a million. It's 585 billion of supply. And right now it's currently at, wait, am I saying that right? Hold on. 1,000, 100,000, million, billion. No, 585 trillion. And right now the market cap is at 5.8 billion. And it's at 0.00. There's your penny, right? 0.01. So you got 1, 2, you got 4 zeros. And then it has at that one. That's insane, dude. That's
all I'm trying to say is that there's a lot of interesting things that had to occur for Dogecoin to get the traction that it did. And not everything is going to have the same kind of mixture, exposure, marketing, and meme mentality that Dogecoin does. So, like we always say, if you're investing in this stuff, make sure it's money that you don't need, because just like Sailor Moon can blast off to a penny, it could also go back down to 1/8 of a penny. So just be mindful. That's it. That's all.
This thing started, by the way, March 2nd
of this year.
This year.
That's what I'm saying. Dogecoin's already had a following. So who knows? Maybe Safe Moon can have the same kind of traction that Dogecoin does. But remember, Dogecoin's been running for about 5 years now. I don't think that a coin will take 5 years to pick up traction, because cryptocurrency is more popular than ever before. But still, it takes time. It takes a lot of different things for a cryptocurrency to be anywhere as successful as Dogecoin has been this year.
All right, here's a question for you.
Oh, actually,
so this isn't even a hypothetical. This is what I'm actually going to do. I put $1,000. I put $1,000 on something that's worth a penny.
Uh-huh.
Now it's worth half a penny. So I just lost half my money.
Uh-huh.
Right? I lose another half. I lose the other half. I'm down to 0, right? Like my money is worth nothing at this point. So it's like 0. What happens if it keeps dipping? I still own X amount of rohas coin.
Right.
Right? But the value of it is below nothing.
So it would never be below like absolute 0, right? Your rohas coin, you technically lose everything when you sell at a loss, right? But if you still hold it, even if it's worth 0.0001 and you have 1,000 of them, or you have 100 of them, you might only have like a penny in value, and you might have to do a bunch of rounding to get that penny, which means you probably do actually own nothing, but you still have the coin, right? And the coins, they have value. Just because it goes down in value doesn't mean it goes down to absolute 0, unless they go out of business, they disappear, they get hacked, whatever it is. Like there is situations, but as long as you actually have physical possession and the network and that blockchain is still around, then it'll never go to absolute 0. It'll have some sort of value. Now, will it be something that you can cash out? Who knows? That's it. That's all.
Safe moon to the moon.
Much wow.
I'm very interested in, yeah.
You know what? If or when Tesla does start accepting Dogecoin, do you know how many people, new investors, are going to take out all of their life savings that they've dropped into Dogecoin and just buy electric cars?
Yep.
Please don't do that. I mean, it's cool to get something fancy and flashy, but it's also better to save for your retirement, to make sure that you have food next month. Like, just be smart with your money, guys. Please.
I'm going to do it. I'm scared, but I'm going to put $1,000 on SafeMoon. Market cap 5.3 billion. The volume within 100. Yeah, dude, it's moving. That's the thing. The thing is moving, and it's had a spike. It had a spike actually when Doge had its first big spike back in late April, and then it dipped. But it's almost matched that spike that it did in April. It took them about 3 weeks almost. Like it just went up like this, and then it went down within a few days, And then it's been going kind of like just little by little, inching and inching and inching. I just have a feeling as SafeMoon gets bigger, if you have a good investment in it now, this is going to be ridiculous. Now, the only thing with this one is it has that crazy long code. You like they have you have a website that you could probably go buy now and then do it. But
What are you buying SafeMoon on?
SafeMoon.net.
What exchange does it use?
I think it uses USD. Let me see. Buy now. Buy on Pancake. The frick?
Oh, Pancake Swap.
Is Pancake any good?
I've never used it. I've only heard about it. I don't know. I don't got no information for ya.
So it says create a wallet, add SafeMoon to the wallet, buy Binance Smart Coin, swap Binance SafeCoin for SafeMoon. It's a lot of back and forth, huh? It says, okay, so I think there's like recommended to read on PC and follow on your phone to make it easier. This will take approximately 15 to 30 minutes if you're new. So it looks like you could buy two different ways. Download Trust Wallet. So it looks like you could do it on Pancake, or you could do it that other way.
By swapping Binance Coin?
Yeah.
I have some Binance Coin.
You're like, I got some Binance Coin.
Want to buy some Binance?
I've never heard of Pancake before.
I like pancakes.
I know you do.
With some sweet maple syrup.
Oh, man.
Just continuing with the whole trend with the blockchain, NFTs, all kinds of crazy stuff. This one, at first I was like, really? And then I was like, okay, makes sense. It says you can now buy NFTs on eBay and blockchain-driven collectibles are coming soon. Now, the reason I was like, really? I was like, eBay? Like, I haven't used eBay in a long time. A long, long time. But I used to buy the stuff on eBay back when I first started building computers. I'd buy motherboards and like used items and stuff. And they're saying eBay is now allowing NFTs to be sold on its platform, making the digital collectible available side by side with physical ones. Whether you're looking for physical Dogecoin replicas or digital representation of Elon Musk holding Doge, eBay is apparently now the place to get both. Now, the interesting thing that I want people to understand about this, why I was like, okay, it makes sense. Why did PayPal get so big? And who owns PayPal? And who owns eBay?
Yeah. Who does?
So, Elon Musk owns all of them.
What the hell, dude? Really?
Yeah. So think about it. PayPal got big because PayPal was the only form of payment that was accepted on eBay. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right. And that's how PayPal got big. So if PayPal is getting into all these cryptocurrencies, it only makes sense that they turn their buy and sell market away from not just physical items, but into the blockchain and the digital currencies as well, too. It just makes sense. Now, I'm pretty sure that I'm right with eBay and PayPal being owned by Elon Musk. I'm just going to do a quick search, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Let me see here. So if you guys don't know what NFTs are yet, what is the definition of an NFT? Non-fungible token. So it could be a video, just something that you can't touch. So I know like a lot of people like LeBron James and some big people have just sold NFTs and made thousands, some millions of dollars, which is crazy.
Okay.
So Elon, what the hell? It says the first result when searching NFT on eBay should be no surprise to anybody. It says Elon Musk with a Shibu Doge, says NFT non-fungible token, $999 or best offer.
Okay, so I want to correct myself. I was incorrect. Musk made $165 million when PayPal was sold to eBay. So he was involved back in the early stages. This was back in 2002. So Elon Musk started PayPal and then sold it to eBay. So Elon Musk is no longer involved in it, but I mean, PayPal got big because of eBay, and Elon Musk started PayPal. So that was where I was trying to go with that.
That's crazy. That's just ridiculous.
But you know, when you see PayPal start to make certain moves, it only makes sense for that to be reflected on eBay for sure. It says NFTs have been making headlines lately, some selling for millions of dollars with high-profile items like the meme cat and the deal with its sunglasses being put up for auction. So a lot of discussion about massive electricity used and environmental impacts of NFTs. If you understandably still have any questions, you can read through NFT blogs on the internet. NFTs aren't going anywhere. They're only going to get more and more popular. If anybody doesn't know what NFTs are, we've mentioned it a couple times in the podcast, but they're non-fungible tokens, and it's a way to use the cryptocurrency's blockchain to kind of create a smart contract with basically creating smart money. And you can basically use if then this statements when creating smart contracts and do some really interesting things with code and with cryptocurrency. And I do think NFTs are going to get more and more popular, and it's only going to get more and more popular with platforms like eBay accepting it.
It's nuts. It's just, we're definitely going into this whole new digital world of everything being digital now. It's
what's that song? Who sang that song? Let's get digital. Who sings that song? Damn. Yo, that was from like the 80s too. That should come back.
Well, even our cell phones, like my phone don't have a port. Like it's all Bluetooth based. The only thing I could connect this thing to is a charge. If I want to charge something, that's it.
And they're saying that's going away too.
Yeah, they're saying that's going away too. But as far as aux cables, those are gone. And it's funny too because I was just thinking about this with my sister. I went to go get my truck fixed up and had a couple things done to it. I had put a sunroof and stuff. And my brother-in-law came to pick me up. And he picked me up in my sister's truck that she bought back in the early 2000s. And I'm just laughing. I'm just like, that's crazy. This thing has a cassette player. I'm just like, dude, that's nuts. And went to what is it? So for those of you who don't know, somebody side swapped my brand new truck. And luckily I got full coverage. They have full coverage because if not, it's going to cost them a pretty penny. But they're putting brand new parts on it anyway. They're taking off all the old stuff and putting brand new stuff on it anyway. So I'm just like, okay. Yeah, I'm like, okay, it's new stuff, whatever. But I just picked up a rental.
What'd you get?
I got a Jeep Gladiator.
Never even heard of that shit.
It looks like a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but it's the truck. It's their truck version. It's a little funky.
I've seen these. These are, I don't know if I like them.
They're kind of ugly looking things. Every time I see them, I talk shit, and I'm just like, I'm like, I actually chose it too. I'm like, let me get that ugly thing. And it's funny because everybody keeps saying like, dude, that's a cool looking car. That's a cool looking car. I'm like, this is ugly as fuck. What are you talking about? But there's no CD player on this thing. I'm just like, wait a minute. Why is there not even a CD player on this thing? That's exactly what I got. It's exactly what I got. Honestly, I hate it. I hate it. When I sit in there, it feels like it's small.
Huh.
Like where the engine's at, it just feels small. I do feel like I am sitting a little tall, but I have a huge truck. So getting that big old truck, getting into this thing, I thought it was going to be more spacious, more roomy, more luxurious or something, but it really isn't. It's just the Jeep name, so I'm kind of disappointed with that Gladiator, but I'm like, whatever. I have it for the next like 2 weeks until they fix my truck. So I guess I just get to cruise in it for a little bit, you know.
Yeah,
But
you got to see if you liked it. You gave it a shot.
yeah, so going back to the whole CD thing, no CD, it's all Bluetooth, and they didn't even have an aux port. I'm just like, dude, this is weird. Why is this whole thing? And they're saying like, yeah, everything's all Bluetooth now. When I went to Yosemite, I rented an RV, and it did have a CD player and it did have an aux port, no cassette. I rented a boat while I was up there in the lake,
Mm-hmm.
and that was all Bluetooth. I'm like, dude, they're literally taking away CD because it's like, think about it. It sucks. If your phone dies and you're out in the wilderness, like you get no tunes. Like literally, you get no tunes. And I kept thinking about this. I'm like, you know, what about all those iPods that is you connect a cord and then you connect the cord, you know? Unless the new iPods are going to be all Bluetooth compatible now. And I know people are going to say like, yeah, but you could download all that stuff on your phone. But that's the thing. When you have your phone, like I use my phone very differently from most people. A lot of people go on their phone, play their games, get on social media, take phone calls. That's it. I use my phone as a controller for my drones. I use it to take pictures, to take videos. So I need to be sure all that stuff is really, really good. I have put some music on there just so if I'm flying, I could, you know, just listen to it as I'm going. But this thing has 500 gigs of memory. Most phones don't have 500 gigs of memory.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So my previous phone, I think it was like 100 gigs of memory, and I was tapped out with all the apps and like the 40 songs that I had on there. I'm like, dude, this sucks. I'm like, I don't want to ever have issues with space ever. So they told me like, oh, do you want the 250? I'm like, do you have anything bigger? Like, can we put like a bigger chip in there? And they're like, well, we got the 500. I'm like, give me the 500.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ever mess with but that's the thing. It's if your phone does not have a freaking beast of memory, and I know songs don't take much space, but those apps sure do, and they're getting bigger and bigger. So if those apps are going in there and they're taking space, yeah, you'll be lucky if you put like 20 songs. I don't know.
I honestly think that one, they're always looking at how to charge us for a reoccurring payment on something, right? The days of you buying something and owning it, like owning it is gone. Like they want you to pay for stuff for the rest of your life every month to keep them in business and to keep their wallets fat. That being said, I do think that we are going to start to see smart cars. Not just they're going to drive for you, but their screens. We've had episodes where we've talked about Fire TV and Fire TV's OS getting involved into cars. And I actually think, wasn't it Jeep? It was a Jeep, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was a Jeep that was talking about the Fire OS. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, might have been.
But I think that there's going to be a big push into really pushing these cloud-based streaming services like Amazon Music, iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, all that kind of stuff. Because one, you don't have to worry about space, and two, it can sync up to all of your devices as long as you have internet.
Yeah.
So they really want. I think they're really going to be pushing towards, oh, no cables, but you got to pay us our monthly fee for these apps and for this premium experience, right? So that's where I think we're going, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. I do have Spotify and I do get Pandora and I do have Amazon Music. Actually, I got 3 of them. But again, I know they have that whole download feature, but if you're like, I don't want to listen to this, I want to listen to something else. Like I used to love so I had I found an iPod mini. When I used to teach music, I used to have the kids in and out of my car all the freaking time. They're like, hey, can we leave our backpacks in here? Like, I'm like, go ahead and leave your shit in here. And I remember I found a little iPod mini and I took it out and I'm just like, whose is this? And of course, all the kids are like, it's mine, it's mine. I'm like, okay, what's the first song that comes up on here? Nobody could guess, you know? I'm just like, okay. I asked everybody, every student of all the schools, and it was nobody's. Like literally, like nobody said anything. And I said, okay, I'm like, if nobody can confirm whose it is, you guys need to ask your parents. I'm going to be holding this to the end of the season. If nobody comes up with it, I'm keeping it. And I remember because we normally have at least once a month a parent meeting. And everybody knew that I used to work at multiple schools. So I said, hey, on this day I was at these 2 schools. On the day before I was at this 2 schools. So it must have been one of those schools.
One of those 4 schools.
Yeah. So I'm just like, this was found. If your kid is missing it, please let me know. I just need to confirm. Like it doesn't even have a profile on it. And you know what? All the parents told me the same thing. Just keep it. They lost it. Just keep it.
Well, that sounds like a parent. They're not responsible.
Yep.
They're being irresponsible with the devices they have. That's your benefit. You keep that.
Yep. So you know what? I waited 3 months before I kept it. So I had it charged and everything, and I was playing their music. And as soon as the season was over and graduation happened,
right,
I told everybody, cool, nobody can confirm. And you know what? I was on it like for the first week, every day, and then once a month. And then right when we got to the end of the school year, every day again for a full week. And then, okay, I'll see you next season. I'll see you in a couple months. Don't break your arms or your legs. You guys are freaking musicians. We need those hands. So don't be stupid. And dude, I came home, I wiped the thing out clean, and I loaded, God knows, like 20 some thousand songs on there. I don't know how many albums. And I was, dude, I love that thing. I just plug it in and boom, play my stuff, And I kind of feel like they need to come up with something. Maybe I should patent this idea. Pandora or Spotify, or maybe not even them. A company needs to come up with a platform that you could connect your Amazon Music, your Spotify, whatever the hell it is. And if you are listening to music, and if that app has the option to download stuff, when you're listening to it, it could download your like history. And make sure it has a grip ton of memory, obviously, because dude, that'll be awesome. If I can go Bluetooth on that thing, and if I have no service whatsoever, I should be able to go offline and listen to all the music that I listened to in the past. Or if I want something very specific that I don't want to listen to right now, I'll put in Busta Rhymes, download all the albums. I'll put Kendrick Lamar, download all the albums, and I'll listen to something else. And then when I go offline, I could be like, hey, I want to listen to me some Busta, or Busta Rhymes.
Or like a download playlist option, because people share playlists like it's social media now, right? You can listen to somebody else's playlist. So yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. If I have a playlist, like let's say I got Amazon Music, you got Amazon Music. It's a monthly subscription. That monthly subscription, it should automatically tell your app this expires, I don't know, May 20th. Yours expires May 19th. It doesn't even matter. We both have Amazon Music. You want to share your playlist from your Amazon Music to mine. We could do some kind of pairing thing that you touch each other's freaking, like, how you do your phones. Yeah, touch your phones and share contact. Yeah. Touch your iPods or whatever and share your playlist. iPods. And you know what will be cool is I should be able to download your entire playlist, or the playlist that you want to share with. And that thing, because I have a subscription that's good until May 20th, that app should work with no service whatsoever until May 20th. And it needs to confirm after that you did pay for the next month.
Right.
Or the year, whatever it is,
Not difficult to do.
I need to go talk to somebody and sell my idea.
All right, you go talk to somebody and sell yourself then.
You know what I mean? So while we're on this subject, this selling stuff, this is kind of interesting. Amazon, and this is crazy. I think it was Stattenberg or somewhere in Europe. They were suing Amazon for $300 million tax bill that the EU judges rejected. This was kind of crazy. So I guess it was 250 million in euros. I'm just going to read this thing because it's just easier to understand. Judges from the EU, the second highest court, have rejected 250 million euros or 300 million tax bill lodged against Amazon in 2017 as part of the bloc's ongoing fight against US tech giants. So I guess they're wanting a cut of whatever it is that they're selling, like on Amazon. They're asking for a cut. Here it is, Luxembourg. So the Amazon case can be tracked back to 2006 when the e-commerce giant established a labyrinth tax structure in Europe that allowed it to funnel revenue from all EU sales through a subsidiary based in Luxembourg. Internally, Amazon referred to this as Project Goldcrest, named after Luxembourg's national bird. Well, I guess. Okay, so Luxembourg gave illegal tax benefits to Amazon. As a result, almost 3/4 of Amazon's profits were not taxed. In other words, Amazon was allowed to pay 4 times less tax than other local companies subject to the same national tax rules. So it sounds to me that Luxembourg screwed up somewhere.
No, they didn't screw up somewhere. Let me tell you something.
They got money hungry.
It's not even about screwing up somewhere. Jeff Bezos is famous personally for not paying any taxes and also being the richest person in the world. So this guy has spent his whole life understanding tax loopholes. You think his business isn't going to try to pull a fast one, slip one under the rug? Like this is probably one time that a country is caught on, and they're like, hey, 250 million, we need that's tax money, right? This is probably one of the first times that a country is caught on, but it's probably not one of the first times this has happened.
No, it hasn't. Actually, it's funny that you say that because it looks like this even happened here in the States. So after the details of Project Goldcrest were first revealed, the U.S. Internal Revenue Services, so the United States IRS, also filed its own case against Amazon, seeking up to $1.5 billion in back taxes. A federal court judge rejected the case, saying that the figure claimed by the IRS was arbitrary, capricious, and unreasonable. So exactly what you're saying. If there's loopholes, he already had it all figured out and said, try me.
That's basically what he does. While you were saying that, I'm looking because I knew he's talked some shit about taxes, right? So I wanted to make sure that I had my facts right because I seen an article that came out last month about him. And he literally said he supports a tax hike on corporate tax rate. Yeah, because he's mastered this shit. He's like, try me, hike the taxes. I'm still going to pay 0.
Mm-hmm.
It's nuts. There's a quotation from that article from last month that I was reading quickly, and it says, after paying $0 in U.S. federal income tax for 2 years, Amazon paid $162 million in federal income taxes in 2019, and the company, which benefits from a variety of tax credits and deductions, reported a total revenue of $386 billion.
That's crazy. Well, I hope their staff is getting a pay raise on this.
When you start to make a decent amount of money, you start to get into six figures or get into the millions, you should be paying your accountant a good portion of what you make, because they can save you a lot of money and a lot of headache down the road. If you run your own business, big or small, be friends with an accountant. Make friends with an accountant. Make sure that they're closer than your closest friends, because they will help you. Because the government is always trying to be in your pocket.
Yeah,
Always, always, always trying to be in your pocket. But you look at these people, the richest people in the world didn't get there just because they knew how to make a lot of money. They knew how to keep their money as well, right?
yeah.
Oh man, talking about these big companies gets me all worked up. Here's another one about a big company. So this one's interesting. There was a rumor that came out, and this article is referring to the rumor, but it's talking about Apple possibly getting into the console market with something that looks similar to a Switch. Now, some people are like, no, they'll never do a console because they've never done one. Like, that doesn't sound like Apple to get into the console market. But I think that's the wrong approach. I think Apple is doing the right moves to get them prepared to really show people what their processing power can really do. The M1 chips that just came out recently and the M2 chips that are going to be coming out soon, it showed people that they are top tier level when it comes to processing power, even though they were never in the game before. They were basically rubbing Intel's face into the dirt with how good their processors were. Absolutely nuts. So it says a new rumor floating around the internet claims that Apple is working on a new portable gaming device that looks similar to a Nintendo Switch. While the company has indeed been investing more in gaming with things like Apple Arcade, a Switch-like console from Apple seems extremely unlikely. And then the article goes into why, but I don't see it as extremely unlikely. Some arguments is like, oh, they've never done this before, so they won't. But they never did an iPhone until they did it. They never did an iPod until they did it.
So, but here's the biggest thing, though. Like, yes, Apple has their app store and they have games on there that are all based on mobile. But like, I'm just reading this thing. It says the thing that it's missing is an app store full of console level games.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, sure, you can find great games on their app store, but most of them are mobile and not games that you can find on Windows, PlayStation, or even the Switch. So, and then and here's the thing, isn't Apple fighting Fortnite too? Like,
they are fighting Fortnite.
They took them out. So that was their one very few games that they could have had. Like, a lot of their stuff is just mobile based and they can't do much with it. So they would need to open up.
Here's something very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I heard this today, and this article that we're talking about right now about Apple is making me think about it, right? Especially what you're talking about here. But there was an interview recently with Steam, right? And they said, will we ever see Steam on a console? And this was the response that they gave. You will have a better idea by the end of the year. So they were trying not to tell them anything, right? Could it be a partnership between Apple and Steam?
That would be nuts.
But that makes sense, does it not?
Yeah, because Apple doesn't have a platform like that yet.
Right? And technically Xbox, I'm not sure if PlayStation does, but I think they do. They have their cloud-based gaming services already. So why would they bring on a competitor onto their platforms? Because here, Steam is not denying it. They're not saying no. They're saying you'll have a better idea. So right now it's a rumor, and then they could announce a possible release by the end of the year. Doesn't mean it's coming out next year.
That would be interesting. Yeah, because Xbox has their own stuff. PlayStation has their own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo, kinda. I don't know what their Switch is doing.
I mean, technically they don't really need it is kind of cloud-based because everything's synced, but their devices are mobile already. Like you can take your Switch away from your TV and you can play it. So whatever.
They need to go back to the Nintendo Wii version 2,
the black one.
And yeah, black one. And they just need to go back to the Wii. The Wii was an amazing console. Why did they switch?
Yeah, why did they switch?
Why did they switch? Damn it.
Oh, man. You know what mean for Steam if they partner with Apple?
It'll be nuts. I really hope Nintendo does something else. Now that I'm looking at it, then I was so disappointed, man, when they like when they came up with this Switch. But if Apple comes up, dude, if Apple comes up with something, that would be interesting if they get into that whole gaming thing.
I think they can do the hardware, but the problem is, up until that quote from Steam, I had no reason to really be interested, because you can do the hardware all day, but if you got nothing for me to use, like, look, they have the Apple TV. I am not interested in buying an Apple TV. I have no purpose on buying an Apple TV. Yes, I have no Apple devices, but if we wanted to say buy the Apple TV because you'll get the Apple TV app, well, the Apple TV app is not solely on the Apple TV device. You can get the Apple TV app and the service on Amazon's, on Androids, on Roku. So to me, it's like I would rather have one of those than have the Apple TV.
It's freaking nuts. It's nuts. All right, so wanted to share something here with you that I'm pretty sure you've been looking at, because here in the good old US, we do some stupid shit all the time. So apparently there was a cyber attack that shut off pipelines, and now they're literally talking about having a shortage of gas. There's people out there just being stupid and just filling up everything before it actually hits. But it's kind of like that, like a year ago, where they're just like, hey, we're in a pandemic, be careful, before the shutdown. And what did everybody do? Buy toilet paper, because that's going to cure everything. I'm like, dude, you guys are, man, apparently you guys weren't washing your ass before. Now you finally figured it out. But when I heard about this, I'm like, wait. How can a pipeline be hacked? Like, seriously, it's a pipeline. It's going to have a big old wheel and you turn it, and then, you know what I mean? So I got this article here that talks about this, and I found it very interesting, because I'm just like, dude, I know we're in tech stuff, but there's just some stuff that just doesn't need tech. So for many people, the image of the oil industry is one of the pipes, pumps, and greasy black liquid. In truth, the type of modern operation runs is extremely digital, which I didn't know. So you got pressure sensors, thermostats, valves, pumps. It's all used to monitor and control the flow of diesel, petroleum, jet fuel across hundreds of miles of piping. Colonial even has a high-tech smart pig, which is a pipeline inspection gadget, or a gauge, that scurries through its pipes, checking for anomalies. I can't even say that right. It's looking for anything that's going to be weird, know. So it goes back and forth in there. It's like a little robot. That's a lot of freaking tech. So how the hell did the hackers break in? Like, I know we got tons of really insanely smart people out there that can do some crazy stuff, but to get a hold of their network, to look at gauges and like stop everything, dude, that's some scary stuff, man. Like, I know we talk like, okay, someone's going to say like, well, they should have had a VPN.
Okay. As much as I love crypto, I have to say this. Crypto has given a way where there was a will before, right? Because before, these smart people, it's not like they just magically appeared now. They've existed for a long time, but they couldn't just hack into a big company like this and then just get them to transfer the money to their bank account, because everything is tracked, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if correct me if I'm wrong, this had to do with crypto as well, did it not?
I think so.
Right. So they're saying, we're going to hack your stuff. We're going to shut you down. We're going to cause the Canadian gas prices to go up because Americans are being whatever, because it went up like 30 cents today, and was a little bit upset about that. But we want you to pay us in crypto, which has a certain level of anonymity. Wow, I feel like I'm from Nemo when I say that word. Anonymous. I'm just gonna say anonymous. Not even
Hip Hop Anonymous.
Hip hop anonymous, right? And that's what I'm saying. It's not like these smart people who could do all these crazy hacks were not around before. It's that there's more tools now to be creative again, and the regulations and the structures and the risk management is not up to par with what the actual financial institution is through the financial sectors outside of crypto.
That's nuts, dude. So, okay. Just for you guys who are wondering where the hell this pipeline is, this pipeline starts in New Jersey, Linden, New Jersey. It goes through Charlotte, North Carolina, goes through South Carolina, goes through Atlanta, Georgia, goes through Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana, and then it ends in Houston, Texas. The FBI has already confirmed who it is.
What?
FBI has confirmed that it's a group called Darkside.
Oh, I mean, if they knew a specific person, okay. But now it's a character from DC Comics. How are you going to catch him?
Well, they apparently already have IP addresses and everything.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're accurate.
Well, I don't know. But what they are saying is that this group is based in Russia. And they are claiming, they're claiming either pay them, and this isn't even a lot of money, $2 million in cash or Bitcoin.
Cash or Bitcoin. Where are we gonna? What are you gonna leave $2 million in a duffel bag on the side of the street? Like, how would you do that in cash? Let's be realistic. Like, but you know, this reminds me a lot of the person that hacked Nintendo. Do you remember that person that hacked Nintendo and was basically giving away all the information for free?
Yep.
It's not about the money. There's something else that's either going on. It's something else that they're salty about, and they're just trying to prove a point. Sometimes it's as simple as, look what I just did. It ain't about the money, but I did it. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. it's like I just can, so I will.
I can and I will, so I can't stop. I won't stop. You know, speaking about can't stop, won't stop, there's some crazy stuff on the internet. There always is. You know, I feel like it was maybe last week or the week before, Facebook was talking about hiring moderators for some of its content or something like that. And you know, we've done episodes in the past talking about some articles that have come out in regards to YouTube and how YouTube was, you know, they were having stress leaves and mental breakdowns. And we've gone into, I think back when this podcast first started, you and I got into a really in-depth conversation about, you know, this is the job that you signed up for, blah, 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 blah. Like you made that argument. And then I was like, well, if the job is deemed to be this stressful or this mentally harmful, then they should be providing, you know, some kind of way to help them cope with it. Like set them up with, you know, monthly or semi-monthly or quarterly mental checkups, you know, make sure you're good, something along those lines. So when Facebook is just getting into this game now with their moderators, it says Facebook is going to pay $52 million to content moderators over PTSD. It's not an easy job to be a scrubber of all the BS that comes through these social media platforms. There's some things that we see that you know right away, like this shouldn't be on the internet. There's some bad stuff. It says the agreement settles a class action lawsuit brought by the moderators as first reported by The Verge. Facebook said it's using both humans and artificial intelligence to detect posts that violate policies. The social media giant has increased its use of AI to remove harmful content during the coronavirus lockdown. In 2018, a group of U.S. moderators hired by third-party companies to review content sued Facebook for failing to create a safe work environment. Done. Right? That's my argument right there. Yes, they have a job to do, but there's certain things that you have safeguards in regards to, your job. And maybe Facebook, because they're so new into this stuff, they don't really understand how to hire somebody for this position. You can't just pick anybody and pay them minimum wage to do something like this. You can't. They got to be mentally sound. And who's mentally sound these days? And how do you judge that?
So in the Marines, in the Marine Corps,
in the Army.
No, fuck the Army. Whoa. In the Marines, we go through boot camp, and we have our drill instructors,
right?
And these guys, if you watch any videos, they know how to yell, they know how to scream, they know how to mentally break you down to nothing. They don't even have to physically touch you. It's just words,
You'd rather they beat you instead.
Yeah, pretty much. Just hit me, please. Just get it over it. So in the Marine Corps, when you become a drill instructor, you only do so many cycles. And a cycle is 3 months. It's the lifespan of one boot camp session. So any new recruit that wants to join the Marines, they're at boot camp for 13 weeks. So it's a little bit of, it's 3 months in a week. That final week is just actually the drill instructor. You meet them after the first week. It's after a couple of days. Well, the final week is not even, it's just more graduation crap and getting all your paperwork squared away. But they do, and you know what? I'm gonna have to look this up. How many cycles does a drill instructor do? It's 11 cycles. Is that right? 11 cycles? It might be 11 cycles. I gotta see. But here's the thing. The life of a drill instructor, like, think about it. If you're there training for boot camp, it's not like you could leave and go sleep somewhere else. Everybody stays in barracks. There is a little hut called the drill instructor hut. That's where the drill instructors sleep. And dude, they're mommy and daddy. They're your parents 24/7. When you eat, sleep, shit, train, whatever it is, they're with you all day, every day. It's a very, very, very demanding job that they do. And they only, you know what? It might be 11 cycles, or I think that's like 2 years. It might be, I'm thinking 2 years for some reason, but I think the most that you can do is 2 years. And you have to do a psych evaluation, I think, after 3 cycles. Because think about it. Imagine a puppy. You get this puppy and you got to train them. You got to train them to sit. You got to train them to eat. You got to train. And I know people are saying, like, well, what about babies? Babies is a whole different story. Because babies, you could give them their bottle, you could put them to sleep, and they do the thing. With puppies, you can't make a sound, or then I think puppies are like worse than a kid, But imagine you have a puppy between 8 to 10 weeks that never gets old. Or imagine having a baby. Okay, here's one. You know how people say with babies, the terrible twos? Where they're like constantly up, constantly eating, constantly playing, constantly throwing up, constantly doing bad stuff all the time. Imagine living that time for 2 years straight where they don't get better. They just understand that much. You know what I mean? So when somebody comes in brand new for boot camp, within 3 months, they have to understand how to become a Marine. They don't really become a Marine until after boot camp. They just get to know the basics.
Yeah.
But imagine once you're done with that cycle, now you have a brand new bunch that you have
do
to
it all over again.
Do it all freaking over again. So I want to say every cycle that you're done, I want to say you get 2 weeks off. And they give you those 2 weeks to go with your family, or just go wherever you need to. Just go and detach. It might even be a week. I don't know. But yeah, once you come back, you got to do it again. And imagine doing that for 2 years.
Yep.
So they do the evals, the psych checks, and all that stuff. But it's something that they sign up for. And I know we had this conversation with the whole YouTube thing, and now Facebook's coming up. When you sign up for something like this, I think what Facebook and YouTube need to do, they need to look and see, like, okay, maybe they didn't have a baseline. Now they have a baseline. Obviously, if they have to pay freaking compensations for PTSD, they have to have a baseline and say, okay, after so much, I don't know if it's like, hey, at every 3 months, you need to take 2 weeks off because we don't know what you're seeing during that time. Yeah. Or maybe it's got to be a report that they say, hey, this is how bad it was during this time. They need to evaluate it. And then whoever your moderator is, there needs to be some way of growth. Like, hey, you guys are going to be moderating comments. You guys, and then after comments, you guys are going to be doing images. Now that you're done with images, now you're going back to comments. You know what I mean? So right. That way you get breaks of just seeing nasty images or nasty videos or whatever it is.
It's crazy. Not to really go too in depth, but it says that the moderators allege that reviewing violent and graphic images sometimes included self-deletion and other things that I'm not going to mention on this podcast for the social network had led them to developing post-traumatic stress disorder. And then it goes on to say that, where is it here? The company said many human reviewers were working from home, but some types of content could not be safely reviewed in that setting. One, if you're going to be working from home in this kind of job, it's got to be a locked office. So I don't understand how you can't review certain content in a locked office in your home versus actually going into an office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless there's certain tools that they have access to that they can't have access to that would help them in this situation. But I don't understand why it couldn't be safely viewed in a home environment. Like there's many of jobs where, I've seen that people can work from home, but they have to have certain rules and regulations. The door has to have a lock on it. You have to be working in this kind of environment and whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't understand what that means there. That kind of threw me off when I read that. I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's slippery slope, man. I think what they need to do is they really need to look into this and come up with a plan. And you know what? And I think after a certain amount of, I think if people have done this for a certain amount of time, then they need to move them on to a different position. Like, hey, this position is very demanding and you're going to get paid very well. And then once you're done, and you know what? Maybe it doesn't even have to be a brand new person either. Maybe it could be somebody who's been working. Because, okay, so again, I'll use the analogy for drill instructors. Drill instructors are already Marines. They already went through boot camp. They already went through training. They had a job doing something else somewhere else. So maybe people like us, like, hey, we're YouTubers. Let's just say YouTube hired us to say, hey, you know what? We need you since you've been doing YouTube videos. We want you to do YouTube support. Like, just go to Google and you're going to be doing YouTube support. How to troubleshoot username, password, how to do this, how to do that. Like, give us a normal job so that way we get acclimated and know the company. After, like, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years, maybe anywhere from 2 to 4 years. If you're an exceptional employee, if you're good, if you're hitting high marks, then, hey, we have this position to be a moderator. It's only going to be within a year to 2 years. And it's going to be gruesome. It could be very ugly. Sometimes it'll be great, but sometimes it'll be ugly. And you're going to get paid more during this time. You need to pass certain tests and exams before we give you this position. And then once you're done with that position, move you to another position or back to where you were before. Maybe it's like a gateway to become a supervisor or a lead or something. So that way you understand the company a little bit better. Or, you know, and soldier. There you go. Super soldier. I don't know. Just they need to come up with some kind of plan, because it's obviously what they're doing is not working. You know, and if it were to be any true, there's companies out there that deal with crap like this, or there's people out there that deal with crap like this. In the Marines, you got your drill instructors, and you don't think that people try to self-delete when they're in the firing range? You know, like, there's shit that happens there all the time. But why do you not hear of PTSD from those drill instructors? You hear PTSD of people coming back from wars. You know, so there's a difference.
Sure.
But I don't know, maybe just a thought. Maybe they need to hire you or me to figure it out for them. So, yeah, some crazy stuff. Hope you guys have enjoyed this episode. There's just been a crazy amount of topics happening. Hopefully you guys are buying some Dogecoin or SafeMoon, something.
Not financial advice. We're just some random dudes on the internet.
Hey, we never said we were financial advisors to begin with. So if you think we're financial experts, again, it's like all those people trying to buy Ethereum Classic thinking it's Ethereum. Just do your research, peoples. Anything you got to say before we get out of here?
If you thought I was a financial advisor, would you give money to this face if you saw me on the street? Probably be completely different reasons. You'd probably say, this guy looks homeless. He could use $1.
Here's a chicken wing for you.
Here's a chicken wing. There you go. You know, I always tell people it's been a crazy experience. The podcast is almost a year old. It's almost a year old. I have to actually go back and find the actual day when we started, but I think it was June 1st that we started launching. June or July? I'm not sure. I got to check.
July 1st.
So June we started recording and we started creating content, and July is when we went full-fledged, and we've been dropping content for you guys every week. I want to say a huge thank you to everybody who's continuously, you know, liking, sharing, dropping those reviews, because the reviews really do help us get more traction on the audio side. And just another reminder as well that we do also do the live shows every Thursday on the Beyond the Streams YouTube channel. Just keep doing what you guys are doing. Appreciate your support. And if you guys want to see anything in regards to certain articles that you come across or whatever, make sure you drop that in the Telegram groups as well for us. And if we see something juicy in the comments or in the Telegram groups, you'll know we'll talk about it.
Oh, sure. Make sure you guys do leave us a comment, and that way we could always look some stuff up, and you never know, we might be talking about that topic too. So with all that being said, hope you guys are doing good, and make sure you guys do stay tuned to the next episode. Check us out on, if you guys haven't on YouTube yet, every Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live. If you are listening to us on the audio side. Now, if you are on YouTube watching this, you could always follow us on Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean. There, it's all listed in the description below. And if it's not listed in there, just go to your favorite streaming app, whatever it is, and search for us Beyond the Streams. And if you don't see us there, leave us a comment and we'll get there. So, with all that being said, stay tuned in the next episode. We'll see you soon.